Why do people fear change? Think about this for a moment. You say you want a better life. You say you want growth. You say you want success, but when life gives you the opportunity to change, you hesitate. Your heart races, your mind overthinks, and suddenly staying where you are feels safer. So what is really happening inside? A Swiss psychiatrist, Carl Jung, once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Most of us believe we are making logical decisions, but in reality, our unconscious mind is in control, and the unconscious mind is not interested in your dreams, it is interested in your survival. Your brain is wired for safety, not for happiness. Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman explained this through a powerful concept called loss aversion. Loss aversion means we feel the pain of losing something almost twice as strongly as we feel the pleasure of gaining something. So, when change appears, your brain does not see opportunity, it sees potential loss, loss of stability, loss of identity, loss of control, loss of certainty. Even if your current situation is painful, even if you are unhappy, even if you feel stuck, your brain says, at least this pain is familiar, and familiar feels safe. This is why people stay in toxic relationships. This is why people stay in jobs that drain them. This is why people delay starting their dreams. Because uncertainty feels more dangerous than dissatisfaction. Let me tell you about a real therapeutic case. A woman in her early 30s had been in the same job for 6 years. She felt invisible, unappreciated, underpaid every day. She complained about how unhappy she was, but when she was offered a new opportunity with better growth, she panicked. In therapy, she said, "I am scared. What if I fail?" When asked, "What exactly are you afraid of losing?" she paused. Then she said, "Maybe I am afraid of losing the identity I have built here. Even if it is small, at least I know who I am here." That was the breakthrough. She was not afraid of change. She was afraid of becoming someone new. Psychologist Carol Dweck talks about something called the fixed mindset. When someone has a fixed mindset, they believe their abilities are permanent. So if they fail, it does not mean they tried. And learn it, it means they are not good enough. Now imagine what change feels like to someone with that belief. Change becomes a threat to their identity, because if they try something new and fail, it confirms their deepest fear that they are not capable. This is where fear becomes powerful. Harvard psychologist Susan David says discomfort is the price of admission to a meaningful life. But most of us have been trained to avoid discomfort. We confuse discomfort with danger. We think anxiety means stop, but anxiety is often just growth knocking on the door. Think about every major transformation in life: starting university, getting married, moving to a new city, becoming a parent, starting a business. Every single one of these moments comes with fear, not because they are wrong, but because they are unknown, and the unknown challenges the ego. Change forces you to let go of the illusion of control. It forces you to admit you do not know what will happen next, and the human ego hates uncertainty. There is also something deeper. Change requires you to grieve your old self. Even if that old self was struggling, it was familiar, it helped you survive. Letting go of who you were means stepping into who you could become. And becoming is uncomfortable. If a caterpillar understood what was happening inside the cocoon, it might think it was dying, but in reality, it is transforming. People quit in the cocoon stage because transformation feels like destruction before it feels like growth. So when you say you are afraid of change, ask yourself, am I really afraid of change, or am I afraid of losing control? Am I afraid of failing, or am I afraid of discovering my true potential? Sometimes staying the same feels safe, but staying the same has a hidden cost. The cost is regret. 5 years from now, you will either be proud that you stepped forward, or you will still be explaining why you stayed where you were. Fear will always appear when growth is near. The presence of fear does not mean stop. It often means you are standing at the edge of expansion. People do not fear change. They fear uncertainty. They fear loss. They fear ego death. They fear not being enough. But survival and growth cannot exist at the same time. At some point, you have to choose comfort or evolution. So the next time you feel Fear when an opportunity appears. Do not immediately assume it is a warning. Sometimes it is simply a signal that you are about to outgrow your old life, and that is never comfortable, but it is always powerful.